Guys, short little video. Somebody tagged me and asked me a question about water fording because I made a comment on a video with a new Gladiator fording water, and everybody was, crying, "Oh, it's gonna flood the differential. You're gonna have to drain the transmission." Blah 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 blah. These people are just keyboard warriors, as they call it. They don't know what they're talking about. They probably don't have Jeeps. They probably have never gone off-roading. I just wanted to show you guys that, first of all, I'll say the Gladiator water fording capability, I believe, from Jeep is 34 inches, 36 inches. That's 3 feet, okay? The old Jeeps, this is a 76 J10, aka Gladiator. Even the old ones had really high water fording capability. And I want to show you right here, that tube right there is the front differential breather vent. That is 9 inches above the frame right there. I already measured it. The stock intake for the engine, it would be right here. That's behind the headlight. So that's like the middle of the grill is how high you can go up on this thing. And that's from factory, okay? So I'm going to measure. I have to do this one-handed and with my mouth pulling the tape measure out from the ground. And this is a stock height Gladiator with old 50-year-old leaf springs that are sagging. 29-inch tires, nothing special. Halfway up the grill right here is 33, 34 inches. That's where the breather for the engine is. That's where the breather for the diff is. So I wouldn't recommend going to 33 or 34 inches. You want to stay at, like, maximum, in my opinion, would be 29, 30 inches. But the maximum for the car is 34 inches. That's what the factory height, factory tires, old leaf springs on a Gladiator, the old original Gladiator. Now, my Grand Wagoneer has a 2-inch lift in the front, 3-inch lift in the rear. The frame and everything is the same as this Gladiator, but with the higher lift and the higher tires, I have higher water fording capabilities. So on this one, when I measure it, the front, I think, is 36, 37 inches. The rear on this Gladiator is actually lower, so this is just the front. The rear on the Gladiator, I think the maximum was 26 inches. The rear on the Wagoneer is 29 inches. You also got to think the transfer case and the transmission. But what a lot of these little crybabies online are talking about as far as draining your transmission, transfer case, yada, 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 what you don't realize is the transmission is right here. And the transfer case. The breather vents are at least that high at the hump, okay? The door is down here. It's actually down here, really low. So you see the height difference down there? You got here all the way up there. So technically, even on a factory Jeep, you can go almost midway on these doors and be fine, okay? So anybody who tells you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. If you want to be sure, it's the same with the Grand Cherokee over here. If you want to be sure, go underneath, find your vent tubes, just like I did right here, and see how high it goes up, and then just measure it. And then you know how high you can go in the water. So, again, the transmission hump on this Grand Wagoneer is about right here. Do you see how much higher that is than the door line? The door line is right there. So you got about 10 inches above the door line until you get to the transmission hump. There's a reason why every single Jeep from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, etc., why they all have plugs in the floors. Because they are meant to go in deep water, and deep water will get into your floorboards, and you just pull the plug out and drain your vehicle. That's nothing new, okay? So to all these like 10-year-old kids who think that, once you're at the wheel well right here or the bottom of the door, you're going to have to drain, you're going to destroy your transmission, you're going to destroy your engine. No, that's not true. So I hope this was helpful to a couple people. If you're wondering, if you're new to this type of stuff, very simple. Find your breather tubes, find how high up they go. Every Jeep is different, but for the 3 Jeeps that I have, they're all the same. They're about halfway up. The breather for the engine is about halfway up, usually always behind the headlights. The new Gladiator, I believe the engine breather is on the side right here. So as far as the engine goes, you're safe above the headlight on the new Gladiator. So you can go pretty deep in those things. So anyway, like I said, just a short little video. I just wanted to talk about that. Yeah, the door line on this Jeep is... And then I'll let you guys go. The door line on this Jeep is 20 inches. You can't see it because of the sun. It's 20 inches, but the breather vents on this thing is above the frame. It's actually middle of the grill right here. That's 35, 36 inches, okay? So there's a big difference between 36 inches and 20 inches. So, but the lowest vents on these Jeeps are typically at the transmission hump, okay? So that's where you want to get your measurement from. The axles are fine. It's the transmission and transfer case you got to find out how high they go. So measure your hump. That's how high you can go in water. Thanks for watching, guys.